California Reparations Task Force calls to ban police from enforcing public urination laws. Reparations Task Force public disorder offenses should be handled by a public health and safety institution without criminal arrest or prosecution powers. All right. So what world are we transitioning to here? Yeah, just let them take a piss wherever they want to. I guess that's where we're going. Defecation on the public street. It's okay. Social worker is going to come up and see if you need some help. Those cops, they're not going to do anything anymore. Do you think that's going to make our streets cleaner? Do you think that's going to make our streets more sanitary? What are you even thinking here? Yeah, let's get into it. Here we go. I did that podcast a while ago on the incidents of human feces on the elevator at the Westfield Mall, which has been turned back to its lender because of foreclosure. The incidents of human feces in the elevator in that mall have increased 400%. 400%. It used to be every now and then. Now it's like a couple of times a week. Somebody takes a dump on the elevator. Do you think this kind of nonsense by the Reparations Task Force, what's that going to do for that kind of thing? I'll just take a crap wherever I want to. Piss on the sidewalk, it's fine. Some social worker is going to come see if I need a snack, but, no police because they can't anymore. No. Now, you got to have laws so that people don't do whatever the F they want, wherever, willy-nilly. That's how you keep cities clean. You got to have rules. You got to have guidelines. We live in a society. You have to have standards. These reparation task force, there's going to be no reparations. How about that? There's not going to be any reparations. Not anytime soon. Not in the future. Just not happening. They're probably not legal. You don't have a budget for it. You don't have any of this squared away. This is all just talk of, and that's what it'll be. It'll just be a bunch of talk because it's not going anywhere. You flat don't have the budget. San Francisco, you got $750 million. You got $780 billion deficit. And you're talking about reparations in the, to the cost of trillions. You're going to spend trillions of dollars you don't have. Is this going to be a federal deal? We're going to take, no, we're not doing that. Biden can't get through his own college, giving away college money. That's discriminatory. It only focuses on people who went to college. Can't do that. It's not going anywhere. California's Reparations Task Force wants state lawmakers to ban the arrest and prosecution of people who violate laws against public urination and other public disorder offenses, the task force said in its final report released last week. The call to end police enforcement of laws, including those that prohibit public urination, is among the official policy recommendations listed in the final report, which contains 40 chapters and runs well over 1,000 pages and will go nowhere. A significant proportion of law enforcement contact with the public relates to low-level nonviolent offenses. Well, we talk about, business thriving in the downtown core. If you have people pissing outside that business, if you have people defecating outside that business, I don't know if you know this, but it makes it a little bit trickier to run said business. People not wanting to live there. I mean, you want to talk about cleaning up the downtown core? You want to talk about cleaning this up? This is going the opposite direction. This is not going sideways. This is going straight to hell. And that's where you're going with this, right? Why don't we just give up on laws in general? Just give up all laws. We'll just have a free for all and we'll see what happens. Those who can afford security will be okay because they'll start their own little armies and fiefdoms and live on their big acreage communities, right? And if you're not part of that, good luck to you. Well, we started off with the urination and defecation laws. We started there and then we just got rid of them all because, we don't want them. We don't want any laws. We don't want any rules. Just piss wherever you want to. It's okay. Just go for it. It's all right. Toilet paper, totally optional. Who needs toilet paper? Who needs that? Yeah. So, thus, for example, law enforcement is frequently tasked with enforcing public disorder offenses. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Such as illegal camping, public intoxication, disorderly conduct, minor trespass, and public urination. Because those are really annoying things to have happen in public. Shouldn't have that. Mom should be able to take little Johnny and little Susie to the park and not have to worry about the whacked out meth addict crapping his pants on the playground swing. All I'm saying is shouldn't have to worry about that. And that's why there's laws to prevent that kind of thing from happening. It still happens, but now you've got some teeth to it, right? The cop can say, hey, yeah, that's no good. You can't do that. We're going to have to arrest you. And, it's something along those lines. We need some park worker to come out and clean up it's just disgusting. Although the subjects of these contacts are often experiencing homelessness, a mental health crisis, or both, the responding officers typically possess neither training nor expertise in working with these vulnerable populations, the report charges. No, but it's become so bad that they're the only ones standing. Cops are the only ones standing between us and just rampant shenanigans everywhere. And by that, I mean, I talk about dodge the human fecal matter all the time. We don't want that to get worse. I mean, you want to look at the poop emoji map of San Francisco and look at where all the poop incidences are with photos. I mean, what's that city coming to? What is going on there, right? It's just gross. I mean, why in the world are we even talking about this? The disconnect often results in the use of excessive and sometimes fatal force that falls disproportionately on Black individuals. Given the devastating impacts of this kind of over-policing, really? I mean, do we have stats behind this? I mean, where are you even going? The task force recommends that the legislature prohibit law enforcement from criminally enforcing public disorder infractions and other low-level crimes, the report continues. So then you're just legalizing that stuff. If you're legalizing public defecation and urination in a city, I mean, good luck. Good luck. Best of luck to you. Enjoy that. Enjoy that big old crap on the corner there, right? Because that's legal. I mean, I can just go over there and do it too. I can just do it too. I mean, why wouldn't I? Instead, a public health and safety institution without criminal arrest or prosecution powers would enforce prohibitions such as sleeping on the sidewalk, fare evasion, and similar transit-related or other public disorder violations that criminalize poverty. If you don't have any repercussions for action, you can have all of the public health and safety institutions you want. Nothing's going to happen, and your city's going to go even further down the toilet than where you're already at. Yeah. People arrested or criminally prosecuted for these administrative violations, if you have a big crap outside of your business, I don't think you're going to say it's an administrative violation, and they should be granted a private right of action to sue for damages or should automatically receive a damages payout. If you want to have that in your city, good luck. Best of luck to you. Yeah. So these reparations task force are just so out of touch. They're so clueless. Well, we need $200 million for each person. Where's that money going to come from? How about all the other folks who are probably owed something? How about Native Americans? Yeah. What about, how about Ben and Jerry on the 4th of July saying, we need to get Mount Rushmore back? Ice cream company. They're just always so woke, aren't they? Yeah. None of this stuff. I mean, you can have the reparations task force 10 ways till Sunday. It's not going to happen. Just not happening, right? Just not happening. And here's my prediction. If it does happen, well, I'll save that for a separate podcast. If reparations do happen, remind me. I'll tell you what I think happens. It's not pretty. It's not the tail end of what you'd think, where everybody lives happy in this socialist utopia. The report stops short of giving an exact dollar amount it wants for descendants of slaves who live in the state, though it makes clear the task force thinks the dollar amount should be significant. California wasn't even a slave state. Yeah. It also includes dozens of policy recommendations, including the ban on prosecution of public disorder offenses. So you're going to have absolutely zero teeth to laws that we once had for public safety. You're going to pull those out from society. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. All right. You want to go to downtown San? No, I do not. I mean, it's already that way, right? Because effectively those laws are not being enforced. But you got to have teeth to the laws somehow. Otherwise you might as well just have just an absolute free for all. Huh. Weird. Kind of like it already is. Yeah. Areas of downtown Seattle, areas of Portland, areas of San Fran, areas of LA are already there, right? Without this kind of official, hey, take a crap wherever. Not a big deal. Somebody will bring you some soup afterwards. This is not the first time that Californian left-wing voices have said law enforcement should turn a blind eye to publicly emptying one's bladder. Former San Francisco District Attorney Chesa Boudin, whose parents were part of the domestic terrorist Weather Underground group, promised during his 2019 campaign that he would not prosecute cases involving quality of life crimes. Crimes such as public camping, offering or soliciting sex, public urination, blocking a sidewalk. They should not and will not be prosecuted. Many of these crimes are still being prosecuted. We have a long way to go to decriminalize poverty and homelessness. So much of this are drug addicted people living in tents. That's what's doing this. That's who's doing this. And while they just continually just flout the law, you got these jokers saying, let them crap wherever. It's okay. Don't make it it's not a criminal act. They gotta go somewhere. It's so gross. Boudin was recalled in June 2022, less than 3 years after he was elected, in a campaign that was marked by public outrage over Boudin's soft on crime approach. You know what? This is lack of crime approach is what this reparations committee is recommending. Just, it's a free for all. Let her rip. Let's just see how this goes. Let her rip. I mean, don't worry about anything. Just, it's okay. Go for it. The Reparations Task Force did not immediately return Fox News Digital's request for further clarification on why police officers shouldn't enforce public urination laws. So we're getting to that point where it's like, okay, we're just going to get rid of all these laws. I mean, we're going to just hand out trillions of dollars to people. No more laws. It'll all work out. It's all good. I mean, we're just going to add a few $1 trillion to the federal debt, even though we can't get college debt. I mean, Biden couldn't get that through. So how in the world do we envision all of this happening? I mean, these folks that are on these reparations committees, they are just, where's your sense of reality? Where is any semblance of reality coming from? I mean, there's all kinds of people throughout history been impacted. People had land taken, Native Americans. How about Chinese Americans? How about Chinese built the railroad? I mean, there's example after example after example of people not getting reparations for having stuff taken from them. And then at the same time, we don't just take civilization's laws and say, nope, we don't need those because somebody's, having something wrong done to them. You got to have laws and you got to have the cops be able to deal with it. I had a run-in with a cop this weekend over in Seattle. I was driving my big truck and I had a trailer on that big truck and I was in an area by Gasworks Park that's very difficult to navigate with a 1-ton crew cab, extended bed Ford 1992 with a very short, tiny trailer on it. So I'm in this area. I'm trying to get to the boat launch where my girlfriend is with one of our jet skis so I can pick it up and we get the F out of there. My normal route wasn't available because Gasworks Park, which is next door to the boat launch, is where Seattle's, big fireworks show happens. So I have to take a different route. I get up to this intersection. There's a cop on the corner. He's got both feet on the ground and he's talking to somebody over his left shoulder. I looked at him. I went through the intersection. I stopped. I went through the intersection. About 15 seconds later, he comes zooming up, just hauling on his motorcycle. He's on a motorcycle, mind you. He's on a motorcycle. I'm in a 1-ton truck with a trailer. I look out the window and think, oh my gosh, he's got to be going around me. Or did I go down a one-way street or something? Normally it's a two-way street, because of the 4th of July event. This is a 4th of July. This is a, 4th of July event that's going to happen. Did I go down to somewhere I shouldn't? So he just screams up and pulls me over. And my big offense is that I pulled out in front of him on his motorcycle. Clearly, I didn't do it on purpose, but he just read me the riot act for about a minute. He just laid into me. He's like, your 4th of July is not going to end well if you continue this, if you don't pay attention. And my problem was I was paying too much attention to what was going on. There were a lot of people milling about because they're about ready to let the entrance to Gasworks Park, which is a paid event. All these people were going to go in. So I'm driving a big rig with a trailer, which I don't know if you know, in Seattle streets isn't the easiest thing to do. I got a cop over here. I got other stuff going on. I'm trying to make sure I don't hit anybody. And so apparently when I took a left-hand turn, he also started to go through the intersection, and apparently I cut him off. So I get pulled over. I get yelled at. And I almost got the feeling that it was this act that this motorcycle cop does. Cause it seems so weird. And I noticed he wasn't asking for my license or registration. So he wasn't really pulling me over, but he said that I could have gotten a very big ticket for pulling out in front of a police officer. It's like, nobody's going anywhere. I'm still, as he pulled me over, I was probably doing 5-10 miles under the speed limit. My rig is 100% licensed. I've got insurance. All my blinkers work. There's no drugs in the car. I'm not shooting anybody. There's no guns in the car. I am 100% law-abiding citizen, right? So that's why I let this cop just yell at me for like a minute. And at the end, he gave me a really nasty sneer. Like he'd watched too many Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry movies. He gave me this really nasty look and this really nasty sneer. And he said, have a good 4th of July. And I thought, is this an act? Because it didn't hold any weight. I pulled out in front of a police officer. And if he would have let me explain, I would have said, I didn't see you. I'm driving a big rig, a lot of folks around. Yeah, I was paying attention. But did you come up behind me hard? I mean, look, I'm not breaking any speed records. And if you're on a motorcycle and you can't figure out that I'm in a bigger rig than you, you know what I mean? So, there's exchanges like that where it's like, at the end of the day, I was okay with it. Because the flip side of that is, the cop was a dick to me. He's a motorcycle cop, right? It's 4th of July. I just had a conversation with another cop and it was like, drunk people brawling on 4th of July. Not my favorite. I'm like, okay. So I knew this was going to be a long day for this kid. He's probably in his 30s. But the flip side of that is you don't have any laws. So yes, I was thinking about my safety. And I was abiding by the laws. I didn't mean to pull out in front of said police officer, but I wasn't defecating on the sidewalk either. I wasn't pissing on the sidewalk. I wasn't stealing from somebody. I wasn't murdering somebody, which has happened twice that I've podcasted on Gasworks Park. I wasn't living illegally in an encampment. I wasn't stealing, goods from the community. I wasn't doing a lot of things. But the flip side to him not pulling me over is that you've just kind of got chaos. So was it painful to have a cop with an attitude pull me over? Absolutely. But I wasn't doing anything wrong, so I didn't have anything to hide, right? I just took the brutal beat down and was like, okay, whatever. And he was just done in a heartbeat. It was like, okay, you had zero impact with that other than I'm sharing it with close to 100,000 people. He had an audience of one, me. I get all you guys. Yeah. So, if you're a cop out there and you're a motorcycle cop, you don't have to yell at people. I get it. He's probably sunk to that lowest common denominator, which is everybody's guilty. Everybody flips me. So I'm going to flip it back, except I'm not going to flip it back to you. I'm not. What I'm going to say is the flip side to all this is I can be upset about a cop getting angry at me, but at least there was a cop there to enforce the law. And I'm thankful for that. Yeah, he yelled at me unnecessarily. Okay. What's the worst? What's the worst that can come of this? My feelings got hurt. I didn't say anything because this guy was going on such a tirade. And it was like this artificial tirade, right? It was this weird concocted, he's trying to intimidate me. And he's 20 years my junior, right? You're not going to intimidate me. Plus, I'm not doing anything wrong. So, what do we got going on here, Junior? But he was telling me that I might have a long day, meaning I'd get arrested for pulling out in front of a cop on a motorcycle. I understand. Hey, you can't pull out in front of a cop. If he's got a place to go, if his whatever's going, understand. I understand the public safety end of it. However, that wasn't the situation. A lot of people walking around, everybody's going real slow. And he got worked up because I disrespected him by pulling out in front of him in my 1992 Ford F-350 1-ton with a trailer on the back. That or me taking a crap on the sidewalk, you name it. I mean, you ask which one you'd be willing to accept or, which one I should probably go to jail for. Yeah. Bottom line is you got to have laws. Otherwise you got chaos. We don't want that either. So there's a happy medium, right? There's something called reasonable. That cop wasn't reasonable. And unfortunately, he picked the one white guy that can have an audience and talk about it. So that's what we're doing. So if you're a motorcycle cop out there in Seattle, don't be a dick. It doesn't get you anywhere. Nobody respects you more. And the whole trying to intimidate me and have a good day, have a good 4th of July. Where are you going with that? Where are you going with that? Dirty Harry, that Dirty Harry series, that's long over. Didn't know if you know that, Junior, but it's over. All right. That's it for me on this one. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.